Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, and today we have a guest. Her name is Wandia from Vivo. She's a co-founder of Vivo Activewear, and we're celebrating her as our Mashujaa. It's really refreshing to have such a young hero, but we think that she's really done a lot in terms of her brand Vivo Activewear. And Wandia, as a person, Wandia, she really is an absolutely amazing person, brings a lot of energy, a lot of passion to everything that she does, and we're celebrating her. So we're building up in this month of October and just saying, you know, we celebrate her as a hero for the Kenyan brand that she's promoting, and builds Kenya, by Kenya, and she's made us understand and see that Kenya can do it, and we're so, so proud of her. So looking forward to engaging with you. It's actually a 6-part series, so kick back, enjoy it, and relax. Welcome, Wandia, to the show.
Thank you.
It's such a great joy to have you here.
Yeah.
One of the things I was saying is that I needed to interview you before you become too big, because clearly CNN was something so, so huge. So maybe I'll start there, because I wanted to ask why Vivo, but what the CNN whole experience, how was that?
I mean, it was great. You know, they reached out. So CNN works with a few different people on the ground, and there's one organization that they've subcontracted, I guess, to identify different personalities, different businesses that they feel meets the criteria that they're looking for, and they want to show that there are businesses in Africa that are growing, that are profitable, and they put those on CNN global channels. So not just, it isn't just shown in Kenya. So that was really exciting, because I had text messages and phone calls from people as far away as Dubai and places saying, "Hey, one day I saw you on TV. And it ran like maybe 20 times during the course of a week. So yeah, I was getting messages from people I hadn't heard from in a really long time, and they were like, okay, that's exciting. And
that's amazing. First of all, that makes me excited, because like for Althea, you know, my daughter Althea, she's always saying that we have to change the narrative that the world has about Africa, you know? Not, yes, there's the poverty, there's the disease, we're not saying it's not there, but there are also the amazing stories like your stories, you know? They have the amazing Vivo stories and other stories of actual heroes, you know, in this nation and the continent, who are doing great things.
And in some ways, I think it's even the whole entrepreneurial side of things is so exciting, because of the fact that there's so much unemployment and people can't just assume that you graduate from university and you're going to get a job. So they're creating all kinds of businesses and, you know, seeing opportunities and saying, how can I add value and solve a problem in this space or that space? Yeah, and that's amazing, because I always think that I talk more about Kenyans, but there's a very serious creativity, I think, from Kenyans. But even now, when I said that, I thought of somewhere like Ghana. Like when I go to Ghana, I love the markets, because they're very creative. The things they do with Africa, you must go, because the things they do with African fabric, you're just amazed. We've done some of it here, but they always come up with something else that's just amazing. You know, they're very, very, very creative with what they do with the fabric that they have. And so I was just thinking, when I was thinking about Kenya, there's also a creativity that Kenya has, but there's actually on the continent there's a lot of creativity. So we have a lot to offer, and that's why for you, I've known you for many years, but for you, for me, the Vivo story it's exciting, it's fresh, it's refreshing, it gives other people a chance to say, I can do this, because you came from first of all, the development world. So even I wanted to know, how did you make the jump from the development world into Vivo, and why Vivo? So there was a period in between. It wasn't straight from one to the other. So when I first stopped working, so I had been in that space as a development advisor for almost 15 years. Wow. And then, but that meant moving all the time, and moving countries every 2, 3, 4 years. When I became a mother, that became quite hard. You know. Before that, you were just everywhere. Because you know when you're young, when you're single, you pack a suitcase and you go. You sell your furniture, and you're off. Move. Now you have children. Exciting thing. They're like, but I want my toys, my friends, my school. Yeah. And you realize that it's emotional. It's hard for them. So
It is.
So I just decided, you know what, let me while they're in this phase of their lives, let me try and be in one place. And the only place I wanted to be was home. So came back home without a plan.
That's a good one, because lots of people have many plans. I don't know whether you're like me.
I didn't have a plan.
I don't have a plan. And just let things flow.
You just kind of, I mean, there are times in my life where I'm very planful, and then there are other times where I'm like, I really don't know, and I don't want to make the wrong, you know, I feel pressure to make a decision.
Then you might pick the wrong one.
So at that point, I decided to train to become a life coach. So I trained.
Yes, I saw that.
I certified. I even got my accreditation. And then I realized I could not make a living.
From that? Oh, you
Many
as
people
Wandia.
can,
Yes.
but I couldn't because I was just finding it a very difficult conversation
to ask people for
people
money.
To pay.
You're good. I'm like that as well.
To pay for having had a very intimate conversation, for now having, you know, gotten to know their deepest struggles, and then you even cried together, and then at the end of it you're like,
now here's the invoice. I'm so glad I found somebody else who's like that, because that's me. Out here, even with the program that I run, she's like, Mom, I don't understand. Just just advertise it for free, because I can't. I find it so hard to.
But you see, you've turned it into an institution.
Yes.
So that's very, you know, it's still personal, but it's like you have a team, you have staff who can also help make it very professional. So even the financial side of it isn't so direct. It's not like you're saying, okay, here's the money, put the money in my hand. You know?
Yeah, that helps. And I like that you said that it's an institution, because the other day we'll be doing a series with SK Blue, and he said you have to turn a brand into an institution. Yeah. So that's amazing that you said that. Thank you very much. That's amazing.
It is. I've been to your space,
to my space,
and I've seen what you've created. You know,
that's interesting. So well done. Thank you.
And it's both. So it's, you know, it's still very personal to you, but it's an organization that requires, you know, structures, systems, processes, leadership, you know, all of those
different
things.
people leading, yeah, definitely.
Which anyway, so
you couldn't make a living from
I couldn't
from being a life coach.
So then this idea came about, and to be honest, when Anne-Marie and I first started it, it was really around dance and fitness. Yes,
because I remember even you used to have these little ballet things. That's all I remember. I remember the ballet little tutu things in the window. That's what I remember. And I think stuff like, tights, leggings. It had even to do around with aerobics and exercise.
So we still are holding on to the fitness, although we need to spend a bit more time and energy on it. But when we first started, we were like, okay, we want to get people dancing salsa and doing yoga.
I love to dance. You love to dance. As a matter of fact, if I had a word to describe you, it would be dance, refreshing energy, because you've always, I've always known you love to dance, always.
Do you know, dancing, it's the one thing. I mean, and I love yoga as well, but yoga.
Yes, you love yoga.
There are times I'm not in the mood for yoga.
Really?
I am never not in the mood to dance. I can be annoyed and I'll be like, just put on music, let me forget why I'm annoyed. I can be happy and I'm like, let me dance to celebrate why I'm happy. I can be tired and I'll be like, let me dance to feel more energized. So it's my thing.
It's
you know, everyone
spirit,
has their
the
thing. Some people sing, some people, you know, pray or whatever. And for me, dance has always been a space that just lifts me, lifts me up. Not all kinds of dance, and I'm not good at all of them, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. I even saw that you did some short videos the other day. They really energized me. And you know, that's another thing. You see, I told you, it's not only dance, but you have so much energy, Wandia. When you come into a room, I don't know whether you know it, but people will just want to be energized.
Really?
Yes, you have the energy.
I think that's the side that I kind of force myself to bring out even more when I'm outside. Sometimes, no, I mean, we all have many sides, you know what I mean? So I have my side of, I just sometimes, I don't feel that energy. There are times I really feel low energy and I feel sad, I feel lonely, and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like seeing anybody and I don't feel like going out, or I don't feel like, you know. So, but when you do, I mean, I think especially if you commit to something. So if, you know, if I say I'll come somewhere and I want to be part of an event, I'm like, I have to bring the best.
You have to bring the best version of Wandia,
you know what I mean,
to the event or to the whatever the space.
You've made that commitment, and people have come having an expectation, or you want to believe that you can be part of a conversation that will add some value.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, what can I bring to this space? You know,
you bring your energy.
I try.
I'm telling you, you do.
I try.
But I was also saying the opposite of that, I think, or the reverse of that sometimes is when we're like, because I'm like that as well, people won't believe it. They think I'm always
happy,
bubbly, extrovert, always. But there are times when I just want to be quiet and just be alone. And even sometimes even just wallow in my, this is the one where I want to be. But also people sometimes don't give you permission to be that because they are always expecting the bubbly, energetic, dancing Wandia.
And also when you sign up to a space where people look to you to kind of motivate them.
Yeah, and to set the tone,
and,
maybe?
Yeah, and so, you know, you're seen as that person who's sort of leading and sometimes even those leaders, us leaders, those of us trying to be leaders,
no, you are
sometimes also don't feel, you know, don't have that energy, and so we might need someone else to help lift us up.
Yes, that is so true. That is so true. But people sometimes don't see that. But I think it's important as we engage in life, and even as they see you and brand Wandia and brand Vivo, that they understand that when you have those moments, because then it allows us, it gives us permission to be.
So what I'd like to tell myself is, I will allow any feeling, but when it's that less positive feeling or whatever, try and limit the time. So acknowledge it because it's a real feeling.
Yeah.
Sadness is real.
Loneliness
whatever,
is
all
real.
of that is real.
Even the just desire to be alone.
But how long do you let yourself stay there? So it's like you recognize you're in that space, and then you're like, okay, feel sorry for an hour, and then really get up and remind yourself of all the things you should be grateful for, or all the ways in which you're so blessed, you know, because our lives are really very fortunate.
We are very. And you know, every time I look at that, I think of the demographic of Kenya, because definitely your story will encourage. I'm sure that's why even CNN had you and different other people, because your story encourages. Because we are also in a state and a situation where there's a sense of hopelessness. There's an element of that hopelessness. And I think the way you've said it is that we have to recognize that we are blessed. That's the first thing that we have to do. That we are not 90% of the population. There's something that is different for us. And even when I look at your story with Vivo and the brand, many people have tried to do things and they haven't succeeded. You know, they haven't succeeded in what they've tried to do. Many people, even as we'll be watching this video, have tried to do a business, tried to be creative, tried to bounce back from something, because I kept hearing that word of trying to bounce back from something, but it hasn't worked. But it worked for you, and it's good because it motivates. It gives us hope. You know, it's when you say you came back, you didn't have a plan, that gives us hope. So somebody who's sitting out there thinking, I don't have a plan, that's an opportunity to create a plan, and then to do the life coach and not work out, and then now
it's still never that black and white. You know what I mean? Making it or not making it. There's many levels to that, and so there are things even when you start a business, or I mean, even in our Vivo experience, there's some things that have worked and some things that have terribly not worked. So you know, what is success? What is failure? I think for those who have tried a business and it didn't work in quite the way they had expected, and they gave up and decided to let it go and maybe try something different or to give it a break for a while. I think the thing is to also look back at that experience and say, okay, what is it that didn't actually work? And how could we have done things differently? And what I always like to do, I mean, there will always be many external factors that will affect
a business,
your success. But there are those things that are within your control. And are you doing the best you can with the things that are within your control? And so, you know, even with us, I mean, Vivo has its good months, bad months, good years, you know, whatever. Whenever we're not doing well and the team meets, I'm like, okay, so what is causing us to not do so well now? And they'll be like, oh, you know, there's low traffic in the malls, oh, you know, the economy is suffering, and all of those things might be true.
Might be valid.
But I'm like, okay, but of the things that we can control, are we making sure that, you know, we're serving the clients well? That is within our control. Are we making sure that the products we're offering is actually what people want? That we can control.
Yes.
Are we making sure that the quality of the product is sufficient? That we can control.
Yeah.
So let's all those other things may be.
Mitigate
but
the
there's certain
circumstances.
things, you know, are we really responding quick enough when people ask for something? That you can control.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know?
Yeah.
So you've got to break it down and ask yourself, you know, what could I have done differently? And the lesson can teach you for the next time.
Wow, I really hope that you've been blessed by that. That was part 1. Looking forward to seeing you next week on Just Angie to watch part 2 of our conversation with Wandia and celebrating Vivo and celebrating Wandia as a Mashujaa. Bye-bye.